Hello, 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 everybody. Everybody. What's cracking? What's up? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Guys, customers say one thing and you say another. Customers say a right thing and maybe you say another thing that may be the right thing to say to a customer. It kind of goes on and on and on and on. So if you ever been in retail and you know how retail is, you know how picky a lot of the customers are. You know how annoying customer service is. You just know. You know. Here's the thing, y'all. You don't try to pick fights with customers. They pick fights with you. Half of the time, customers will always try to pick a fight with you, making you seem like the bad guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a customer too every now and then to others, but I don't pick a fight or I don't look for a fight to pick. I try my hardest to not let people look at me like that way. I try my hardest to not even be around humankind on my off day or whatever. I just try to avoid human contact whatsoever when I'm off. And whenever customers come to you and they ask you something, what kind of set me off was I was, doing my duties and I was putting up the truck, which is the freight. And well, if people don't know what that means putting up products on the shelf. So I was putting up a product on the shelf and I was in the air freshener section. Now, when I'm in the air, whenever I personally go into a store, I actually look for it. If I'm in a rush, I will still look for it, no matter what it is. So this guy, he sees me in the aisle. I'm not in his way. I'm just there putting stuff up. The air freshener is called Onzo or something like that. It's an air freshener that basically eliminates all the odor in the air, and it kind of has like a cinnamon smell. They have variety of smells. Now, there are many products that we see constantly every day, and many new things coming in and out. And I know what I'm stocking, so basically, okay, again, I know what I'm stocking. So the guy comes over, he says, I'm looking for that Enzo, whatever it's called, air freshener that's new car smell. And I'm like, oh, if we have it, it's right here. If we don't have it, I don't have any. Maybe a couple of days we'll get it out. He then says, no, I said, I don't know if they make them like that. Yeah, sure, they make them like that. Man, I've always come here and I've been coming here for years and I've always gotten this. I said, okay, if you already know where you're at, then by all means, make yourself at home. If you know better than me about my products that I have on the shelf, by all means, there you go. You answered your question. You don't need me anymore. And it happens so much, guys. It happens so freaking much. Customer says one thing, you say another. I basically, in that situation, was telling him that I didn't have it. Let me think. Let me see if we did have it. You know, when was the last time we had it? Oh no, he says we do have it, and I always come here. I've been coming for years. And then I'm like, okay, well, if you've been coming here for years, and you know where it's at, then there you go. By all means, go ahead. Let me lower and fill my cup. Be right back, guys. And I'm gonna empty my cup. All right, come back. So customers will always question the fact that you don't know anything about your products. You don't know anything, and you're just a worker. You just work there. Now, me, I can stand there and identify a hard worker, non-hard worker, a lazy worker. I can just identify it. It takes me no time to identify who's a lazy worker, who's a gossip worker, who's just the person in charge. Like, it doesn't take me long, guys. It doesn't. For these people to assume all the time, it's just absolutely outrageous. Customer will say one thing, and you would tell them one thing, and then y'all just you don't understand each other. Now, I understand the English barrier. There's an English barrier, but there's no English barrier at this point. I have encountered so many customers that I tell them that this is the right part. They say, no, this is not the right part. Do you even know what you're looking for? I said, by all means, if you want here's the computer, sir. And here, he said, no. So I said, well, if you think you know what you're looking for, and I'm not helping you at all, there's the computer. I'll just be right here watching you, And then there's times that, I'm doing either warranty exchange or something of that sort, and I'm trying to do my job. They look at my screen and say, oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right there. I'm like, oh, you know where everything's at, right? Here you go. Here's my computer. Here's my computer. Why don't you just take it and search the product yourself? And then same thing, one customer says one thing, you say another. You tell them, they're like, I'm looking for this part, and then they tell you that part, and then they hold back. There's that certain type of breed, and you already know what type of breed I'm really talking about. But that certain type of breed where they hold back on the information. So they sit there and watch you to see if you're actually lying or you're not lying. So these type of breeds usually come in the store and say, I'm looking for this, let's just say an oxygen sensor. And I'm like, okay, so I look up an oxygen sensor and I say, oh, we don't have it. And then they'll go up and say, I called the store, or I went from the other store and I came over here. When they say I go from the other store and came over here to get the oxygen sensor, I then say, oh, okay, well then, what's the case? If you call, let me know what the part number is before you even start assuming. Like, if you already have that information, you already done that researching, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So then I always tell them, I say, okay, well, were you smart enough? And did you give me a part number? They said, no, you're supposed to look it up in the system. I said, well, this is not the right part number. And sometimes they try to prove themselves. So I'll call them back the location and I'll let them know and say, hey, do you remember me? And then it turns out that was not the one for their vehicle. And I was right all this time. And you know, it just constantly goes back and forth. Customers say one thing, you say another. And some customers are like, no, it's not the battery, it's the alternator. I said, okay, then it's the alternator. Because obviously the battery's totally dead. You know, if you know, then go ahead, by all means, you know. I have came to acceptance of these kind of customers like this. I have came to where it's like, oh, no, that's not it. Wait a minute. And I'm very dramatic, guys. I'm very dramatic. If anybody works with me and they tell me, they tell you or tell the environment, yes, she is very dramatic. I will be very dramatic. I said, oh, really? Oh my goodness. Then I'm doing my whole job wrong. Then here, do you want my job, sir? Do you want my job, ma'am? Huh? Because maybe you need this position. Maybe you need the money, you know. Maybe you can run this job a little bit better than me because you know what's going on, bro. You know. And so I have got to that point where it's okay. I'm not going to argue with the customers. Sometimes they'll say, well, I do it this way. You say it this way. I'll say, okay, go ahead. Say it the way you want to say it. This is a free country. I'm assuming it's a free country. And your speech. So go ahead. Have the floor. If you think you could do it better, then go ahead. By all means, go ahead. And so when a customer says one thing, you say another. The reason behind that, well, not the reason. I'm not gonna say that's not a reason, but I said two reason behind that. Go with the flow. If they're saying one thing and you're saying another, you're giving them facts and they're giving you like shitty facts. Go with their shitty facts. Say, oh yeah, you're right. You know, maybe it's supposed to be like this, you know? Maybe the mass airflow sensor and this sensor are exactly the same. Who wanna know? Man, you taught me something new, Mr. Customer. I'm so glad you're here to inform me that these things are new to me. So I'm gonna consume that as much as I can. And so, like I said, well, a customer says one thing, you say another, and it just constantly goes all around and around and around. I cannot mention how many times this happens per day with me, and it's like, what are you saying? So I have to basically agree to disagree. And if y'all haven't seen the video a while back, I made a video about agreeing to disagree on a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios. And there's, you know, people out there that kind of want to overrule you, and you just say, okay, you know, this is how it goes. And when I used to be at a shop, it was kind of worse in the beginning in the shop, because you're telling them that they have no brakes, and they say, I have brakes, I could brake. And I'm all like, bruh. Okay. Customer's always right? This person has 0 brakes, no pad whatsoever. The customer states, I have brakes. I brake right now. Bro. My heart just goes out to these customers that try their hardest to act smart, but they're not smart. Now, again, I'm not a customer that will do that. If I'm going to prove the point, I'm going to prove the point. And I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. And I'm going to consume it. I'm wrong. Okay. I didn't know that. Well, geez, you taught me something new. So, yeah, customers say one thing, you say another. Constantly goes around. I have so many people, again, per day doing this to me. Why do you think I'm such an annoying person? But yeah, guys, so let me know what y'all think. Let me know if your job is the same way, how you feel. When a customer starts arguing with you, do you argue back? What do you do? Do you agree to disagree too? Do you just go with the flow? Do you just say, oh, what? I didn't know it was like that. Man, you taught me something new. If they're be like, oh, you're being sarcastic. I'm like, I am? Well, you told me that I'm doing it wrong. And then case closed. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.